obviously the second thing is you're doing your usual thing on the treadmill. Did you find out then that you was coach of the year?
No, I found out a little bit before that. The players knew, my family knew. As usual, I was the clueless one in the group and found out after everybody else was already aware. So it was a pretty cool moment. And obviously just grateful to be able to share that with everybody that I work with every single day and, a few of my family members. I thought that was priceless. And, what more can you say? I'm just so grateful that God has blessed me to do what I do, but do it with the people that I get to do it with. It's a huge blessing.
Always a follow I had, Coach, was that I know when you won the NBCA award, you're like, it's a team award, it's not an individual, but your name will be on the plaque. It won't be the team, it'll be your name. So I'm just curious, how are you viewing that it's a team thing, but you've obviously had to do something pretty special to win the award?
Dwayne, I still feel the same way. I've often said about my life that God knocks the ball out of the park and I get to run the bases. And he uses all of these people, from Jay Gaspar and Denise Romero to Robert Sarver, James Jones, and the cast of uniquely gifted players and coaches that I get to work with every day. And if there's one award that exemplifies team, it's the Coach of the Year award, because there's not a coach in the NBA that has bad intentions for the program or the players. You know what I'm saying? I've said this to you before. Nobody walks into the gym and hopes that their guys play poorly and tells them not to work and please, don't play defense. Like we don't do that. And in order to, get an award like this, it takes a lot of people. The ushers at the gym, Miss Gail and different people that I run into every single day, they're so steady and they're a huge part of our day. Max and Mike and Gene, our security people, the Delta flight attendants. There's so many people that help us have a consistent day, and they create a bubble for us to have success. So my name will go on the plaque or whatever, but my name represents a lot of names.
Thanks, Coach. Again, congrats.
Thank you.
Next up, we're going to go to Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Dave McMiniman.
Hey, Monty, congratulations. You told us how the players last year were upset. You heard their reaction, how upset they were. Obviously, they were really stoked for you today. Just how important are the relationships that you formed with each of these players to coaching for you in general? Just forming a bond with each player, how important has that been to you over your coaching career?
It's probably more important than everything that we do, from the X's and O's to the drills to, sometimes even playing games. I've probably lost out on jobs because people thought that I was more interested in the relationship piece than I was the competition piece. And I think they both go hand in hand. And so to be in a position where I can naturally grow with our guys from a relationship standpoint is huge for me. And the fact that they allow me to do it is something that I don't take for granted. I know our players' families in a natural, real way to a degree. When I see them, I think they know that we care about them, and we as a staff feel that they care about us because of the attention we give their sons. And so for me, it makes the winning and all of the experiences that much better when you have great relationships with your players and their families and the staff that we work with.
And to elaborate on that just a bit further, this is your third year here, but just how have you seen the long-term effects of those relationships already sort of helping you as a coach, and how they could help you in the coming years going forward?
Well, my hope is that our guys when I'm done here and in Texas or still here living and fishing or something like that, I hope that I still get the text messages that I receive from time to time from our players. I hope they send the pictures and of their families as they start their own families and things like that. And, you know, I had really good examples. My high school coach, Taft Hickman, is somebody who texts me before every game. And Digger Phelps and John McLeod, who used to coach here in Phoenix, you know, they treated me like an extension of their family. And Digger's daughter still texts me, emails me. Coach Phelps and I still talk on the phone from time to time. Coach K is somebody that I talk to a lot through text. And then, you know, Jeff Van Gundy and I, you know, I could go down the list, Pop, RC, like so many people have impacted my life. Doc Rivers shot me a text today. We're both 2-2 in the playoffs. And, you know, all of those relationships are golden for me. They have enhanced my life in ways that I can't even express. And that's the brotherhood of not just the NBA, but of basketball in general.
Next up is going to be Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Cameron Cox.
Hey, Monty, first of all, congratulations. How do you feel like this coaching stretch you've had with the Suns, how does it compare to when you were head coach previously in the league? And also, just because you mentioned Coach K and you mentioned when this is all done, how much longer do you think you'll want to do this? How long do you want to coach in the NBA?
I mean, the run we've had, it's hard to describe it because I'm in it. I think, Dave, what I've learned is to enjoy it and not try to examine it or analyze it that much, because it can take away from it, I think, from at least doing the job, and yet having a level of gratitude for every win, every progression of a player, every coach that goes on to another job, every award that's won. Like, there's an appreciation for that. And that's a part of our time here that I'm grateful for. Outside of that, man, I'm so focused on, you know, we all want to win a championship. And yet there's some things that we do along the way that you can, you know, try to enjoy to the best of your ability, but you're still focused on how do you get there. And so it's like these opposing deals at times. You want to enjoy it, and yet you're pounding the rock to try to get there. As far as how long, unfortunately, not everybody's given that choice. You know what I'm saying? I pray that I get to choose when I walk away or whatever that looks like. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I really enjoy not just what I do, but the people that I do it with. And I don't take it for granted, man. I mean, I know sometimes I say that and I throw that word out there a lot, but I know what it's like to not have a job in this league. I know what it's like to be fired. You know, I know what it's like to, you know, just be on the outside. I also know what it's like to, you know, take the phone calls from guys who are on the outside, you know, and I have a great deal of empathy for the guys who want to be in these positions. So I just don't take it for granted, man. I'll do it as long as the Suns will allow me to, or, you know, my family situation, if it ever changed, then I'd have to make a decision. But right now, we're in a pretty good spot, and I'm just trying to enjoy the moment of where we are, and again, you know, trying to beat Dallas. So that's where I am.
Next up is going to be Cameron Cox with 12 News, and then Gerald Brigade.
Hey, Monty, congratulations again. Two questions here for you. One, is your son's room going to be cleaned out from now on? Call him out on national TV. And then two, you throw around the word cool a lot. So what's the coolest part of winning this award?
Nah, he's a really good kid, you know, and he's he's 14 years old and he's just enjoying basketball. And I just want him to be a kid. And I don't know of a 14-year-old boy whose room doesn't smell like an armpit. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to get across to those guys that he's just a good kid and he's normal. He's just gifted in basketball. And I'm in my office, so I was back here doing that, and I went up front, and a couple of my daughters and two of my boys are up front, and my wife Lisa, and I walked out there, and they just all cracked up laughing. They thought it was the funniest thing. But what I really enjoy about Elijah is he's just a good kid. He's the kid that if he sees someone bullying somebody on the playground or in the locker room, he's going to check somebody's chin. You know, that's who he is. And that's what I really love about him. And then the basketball piece is just something that I get to enjoy. So he's just a 14-year-old normal kid. And then the cool part, I mean, I guess the cool is just enjoying it with everyone and allowing everybody to enjoy it. I think 10 years ago, or when I was in New Orleans, if I were to win something like this, I would probably, take the award, put it in my closet, and then get back to work and not even, let my family enjoy it. I probably wouldn't even have done the broadcast tonight, just because I was so focused on, or trying to look like I was focused on winning and focused on the next game. And now I've learned that it's so cool to allow people to enjoy moments like this. And I'm ashamed to tell you guys that I probably took that away from my family and even my friends earlier in my coaching career.
Next up is going to be Gerald Brigay with PHNX, followed by Christos Saltis.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. I know you guys talk all the time about celebrating everything, and we saw that Devin Booker was actually the one who broke the news on Twitter. So did they all just kind of surprise you with the news, your team and your family?
They did. They had worked it out. I talked to my wife, Lisa, and they knew a while ago, last week, I should say. And so somehow, some way, they, told the players, and a couple of them knew. And so Lisa had coordinated a couple of my girls to fly in. And the weird part was my oldest daughter, who works for the league, was in New Orleans with Willie Green and his wife, Tara, yesterday. And they sent me a picture of her yesterday. And I was like, oh, Lael's in New Orleans. So when I saw her walk through the doors or the windows, whatever, at the gym, I was like, what are you doing? It caught me off guard. Then I realized what was going on. And then my second oldest daughter, she was with me yesterday in Dallas and just played it off so smoothly. I had no idea what was going on. So when she walked through the entryway, I was like, you guys, and that's when I kind of knew. And then my son Micah had it in his hands, and to see the players and everybody in that moment, just it spoke to the character and the care factor of our team. Everybody on our team cares about everybody. And from my job across the board to Telma and Pablo and Johnny, who work at the practice site, we all have this unique care factor for the people that we see every day.
Got time for two more questions. Next up is going to be Christos Saltis from Greece, followed by Tyler Boronsky.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations, first of all. Well deserved.
Hey, Christos.
Coach, for you to share that moment with your two families, your family and the Suns players, staff, and the whole organization, what does it mean about today? And if you look back on your first day as a head coach, what was the biggest growth until now?
Oh, gosh. I mean, obviously to have everyone there sharing that moment. There's people that I wish could have been there. My grandfather, who's 89 years old, who's, still travels across the country to see me coach and our team play. I wish he could have been there. My mentor, Pastor Bill Gebhardt, and, my mom, my dad, but to have my wife and most of my kids in the gym with the players, man, you couldn't was a priceless moment. And the difference between who I am now and who I was, I'm sure experience has helped me some. I'm probably a better delegator than I used to be. I think I probably have a bit more empathy for people in these positions, especially, people in the video room and assistant coaches and things of that nature. When you get fired, it teaches you a number of things. You can look to blame someone for your firing, or you can, think about the people that you got to work with and have a better understanding of what they go through on a day in, day out basis. I think I'm more, my eyes are wide open to what everybody does every day. When I was coaching in New Orleans, all I cared about was the players and getting a win. And now I'm more inclined to think about the people that I work with every day, even working with you all. I know that you guys have a job to do. I'm well aware of that. May not always want to answer the questions, but I know you guys have a job to do. As a matter of fact, I know I don't want to answer the questions, but I know you guys have a job to do, and it's a huge part of our business. I don't think I had that awareness back in 2010.
All right, Coach, final question is going to be Tyler Boronsky with NESN.
Hey, Coach, congrats on this award. I mean, you've talked a bit now on just how much you value your relationships with players. So when a player you've coached reflects on playing for you, talks about you, what do you hope they think about when it comes to playing for you?
I hope they know how much I cared about them as people, their games, their aspirations. That's it. The X's and O's, the wins and losses, all that stuff's pretty cool. But if I walk away from this and our players and the people that I've had a chance to work with don't know that I cared about them in a unique way, not just, what's up, dog, or how you doing in a superficial way, I hope that they know that not just me, but our staff and James, we care about them, their families, their hopes and dreams. And that's it. I mean, you could win a lot of games, but if you don't have that kind of relationship with the people that you're with every day, I think it's pretty boring. And I hope our players understand that we, as much as we want to win, we also care about them as people.
Thank you for the time, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you. You guys have a great